What will we talk about today? For years I was never happy with my physique, but it wasn't because I wasn't lean enough, it's because I didn't have enough muscle. So in this video I'm going to go over 3 tips that are going to make a massive change when it comes to building the muscle you want, so when you actually do lose body fat, you have a really good physique under it, you're not just skin and bone. Before we get into that, if you need some help straight away, when it comes to losing body fat or building muscle, join my free 4-week kickstart challenge. It's completely free, where you can lose around 2 kg of body fat and learn the ins and outs of training and how I go about it for clients instead of a 4-week period. The link is in the description of this video. Number 1, when it comes to getting to building muscle and actually adding size that's going to make you look impressive, you need to perfect your technique. Stop chasing weight if you have shit execution. So when a client joins my program, the biggest thing we focus on for a 12 to 16 week period is getting their form as dialed in as possible over every single exercise they do in the gym. So every single week we go over 3 form videos of execution of certain exercises, so we can look at how they're doing them and how we can tweak them, or even tweak the exercise to perfectly fit their anatomy. If you can do that, get good across every single exercise that you do in the gym, and then focus on progressively getting stronger in it, you've not only got the exercise form down, which is massive, but when you go to increase the weight, the form's not going to suffer. Whereas if you just go chasing a heavy weight straight away without good form, it's going to turn from shit to even more shit. You need to feel the target muscle you're working, okay? So if I'm doing a chest movement like a chest fly, I need to make sure, in order to have good form, in order to build muscle, I need to be feeling the muscle I'm working. So I focus on engaging that actual muscle, and that also lends itself to when you go up in weights and you can still chase that feeling even when you're going up to a super heavy weight. You also need to slower the lowering phase. I see a lot of people rushing. They might do good form on a bicep curl on the way up, but on the way down, the eccentric, where arguably you actually build more muscle, people tend to speed up that phase and therefore not build muscle as a result. So you need to slower the lowering phase. And one more tip around getting great form is you need to film your workouts. You need to film your exercises that you do. I'll put on screen how I film almost all of my exercises I do in the gym, and I send over to my coach when need be. And it's for me to understand, am I targeting the right muscles here? It's all fine and well looking in the mirror of you doing an exercise or feeling the muscle yourself, but if you're not getting objective feedback on it by a coach or someone else, or getting objective feedback from the video, so it's not just how you feel, it's also how you look, allow you to basically build muscle at a faster rate, because you can actually see whether you're doing the exercise right based off of what naturally it's meant to look like. I'm going to throw a small side note in here. All of these things mean sweet FA if you're not going to do and follow through with a muscle building period for more than 6 months. You need to dedicate at least 6 to 12 months to actually build meaningful muscle. Otherwise, you're just going to get nowhere. I see people trying to build as much muscle as they can inside of a 2 to 3 month period and get disappointed in the fact that they don't have that much when they lose the body fat. You need to commit to a much longer period of time and just understand that it's a long-term game getting in incredible shape, as I've learned in the past and as I still learn to this day about my own physique. So number 2 is progressive overload. So the stronger you get, the more muscle you're going to have. This is by far the biggest aspect of it. Obviously the form needs to be good to avoid injury and stuff like that, but as far as getting stronger, this is what's actually going to build muscle, right? So mechanical tension, progressing in weights every single week across all muscle groups you want to build is exactly what you need to do. So it's increasing in reps, sets, or weight every single week across every single exercise. I would focus on just weight and reps for the majority of your time training, as it keeps it as simple as possible. So let me give you an example of what this would look like, okay? So if you set a 6-month target, which I do for clients in a lean bulk, if you set a 6-month target to go from 15 kg on dumbbell incline bench press up to 30 kg, what you're going to do is you're going to have a set rep range you're going to aim for, which might be 8 to 10 in that range, and you're going to aim to do 15 kg for 8 reps the first week. The next workout, you're going to try to do 9 reps. Next workout, you're going to try to do 10 reps. Once you can do 10 reps of 15 kg, then you can go up to 17.5 kg, and you can slowly increase as time goes on. Focus on moving up progressively every single week to the point where you can build up to heavy numbers. Remember that it doesn't take a couple weeks though to build up to a heavy weight. It takes a lot of time, but if you can increase in a rep or a little bit of weight every single week, you're going to be flying. And over time, that's going to build up to big numbers in the gym, and you're going to, therefore, your physique's going to show that as a result. One other thing that also gets overlooked when it comes to progressive overload is improving your form on a certain weight before moving up, okay? So it's not just increasing in reps, it's not just increasing in weight, it's also improving the form on that current set that you're doing. So don't move from 22.5 kg for 8 reps up to 25 kg for 8 reps if the form is complete shit on the 22.5 kg. You need to get to about a 90% range of motion, and 90% like form level. What I basically mean by that is like at 90% of the most perfect form that you could possibly have. It needs to be very, very good. If your form is off when you're going from one heavy weight to another heavy weight, that's where people get injured. So progressive overload is super important, but going back to the first point, if your form is off, it's also not going to matter. You're not going to hit the right muscles. So make sure you're going up in a smart way and you are just improving in a rep or two, or increasing your range of motion some weeks. That's just the way it goes. You're not always going to jump up by big numbers. Focus on taking your time, progressive overload will come, and you're going to build the muscle you want and the physique you want. So point 3, nail the fundamentals. The most common question I get asked is, should I take creatine? My answer to them is always 100% take creatine. But I'll tell you this, if you're not getting your protein in, creatine's going to do fuck all. And that's just the way it goes, okay? Same as carbs or fats. If you're not getting enough carbs and fats in, creatine's also going to do fuck all. So you need to focus on nailing the fundamentals first before even worrying about anything else when it comes to building muscle. If you're not healthy, your body's not healthy, and it's not going to recover from the workouts, it does nothing whatsoever. So here are a few things you need to focus on. Getting sufficient protein. You need to get in and around that 1 gram per pound of body weight range with protein, down to as low as around 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. That's essential in order to build muscle. If you don't get that in, you're not going to build any. You need to get sufficient carbs and fats in. You need to make sure you're getting in the kind of between the 150 to 300 grams of carbs per day range, roughly. And when it comes to fats, you probably want to be in that range of about 35, 40 grams fats, all the way up to 65 grams fats, just to give you kind of a rough baseline, depending on your body weight and all that sort of stuff. You need to make sure you're getting around 7 to 9 hours sleep in a night. Again, a super, super important thing, which a lot of people overlook. They might nail everything else, but if they're getting 4 hours sleep a night, building muscles next to impossible. Focus on trying to de-stress yourself when you leave work. If you've got a very stressful job, try to give yourself a couple hours at night to relax and unwind. That's also a massive effect. Has a massive effect in the quality of your sleep, but it's also a massive effect in your ability to build muscle altogether. We've now talked about kind of the general health aspect, but I thought I would mention one other thing, good exercise selection. So when it comes to building a program that most suits you to build muscle, you need to look at the exercises, as I mentioned before with the form. You need to not do exercises that aren't anatomically, is that the word, if that's suited to your body. There's certain exercises that your body's not going to agree with. Some people have bad shoulders, they've got a bad back, hip, knees, all that sort of stuff. You need to make sure with your exercise selection, you're choosing exercises that suit your body and you can progress on over time. Just for example, I can't do barbell bench press. I've got a bad shoulder. I've always had a bad shoulder for the past 6, 7, 8 years. I'm not saying I'll never be able to do barbell bench press, but there's no way in hell I'm going to try to use that as one of my main exercises I'm trying to progress, because I won't get anywhere. The only thing I'll get is a shoulder injury. So you need to focus on choosing exercises that suit your body and allow you to make progression on them over time. So I hope this video helped, guys. It went over quite a few things here. Obviously there's more aspects of building muscle, but the whole idea is to kind of give you the fundamentals. And the idea also of this video is to show you that you need to focus on building muscle after you go through your initial fat loss phase for a 6 to 12 month period before you even think about doing another cut. Because if otherwise, you're just going to lose body fat and get back to the same point you were. Build the muscle, and then after around a year, reveal the physique that you built in that time. Then you'll look good on the beach with your top off or wearing a bikini, and you're going to overall feel the best about yourself, and you're going to get to the confidence level you want as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want more advice, then follow my Instagram at TomWilsonPT. And if you want to lose 2 kg of body fat completely for free inside of my 4-week fat loss kickstart challenge, then follow the link in the description of this video to learn more about that and learn how I also coach my clients through a muscle building and fat loss phase along the way. Have a good day, guys.